I've got new iPhones. I've got an iPhone 16. Oh, brilliant. What an amazing start to this video. An iPhone 17 Pro Max and an iPhone Air. I'm making two videos today. They could go absolutely anywhere because we don't have much time to make them. But this is the first one. This is the iPhone 17 Pro Max first impressions, but also I've made a note of some of the stuff that people have found in the other reviews that have gone out already, and I want to comment on them and then tell you what I'm going to do with this and all that sort of stuff. But let's get straight into the unboxing. I'm really excited about this one. I've not been excited about an iPhone unboxing, or if I'm completely honest, an iPhone review for ages. If you're thinking about picking up the iPhone 17 Pro Max, you obviously do not want to skip on protection. ESR are kindly sponsoring this video, and I've been testing a couple of their latest cases. First up, we have the classic hybrid magnetic case. This hits that sweet spot between protection and usability. You've got an 11-foot drop protection, which I can confirm works, reinforced corners, and raised edges around the screen and the camera. ESR has also taken note of that larger camera bump this year with a zinc alloy camera guard. The camera control button is also fully covered but still easily accessible, but the real highlight for me is that built-in stash stand. It works in portrait and landscape mode and has 15 to 69 degrees of adjustability. And yes, MagSafe works perfectly as well, and it feels really secure thanks to the 1500G magnetic strength. Then there's the Cyber Tough case. This one's a bit of a beast. It's got 23 feet of drop protection, which once again I can confirm works, and a 3-layer design that includes shock-absorbing pour-on lining. It's definitely the one that I take if I'm traveling or doing anything energetic. You get the same dual camera bump protection and the camera bar and the guard and the stash stand, just with a more rugged build. And a very quick shout out to their Ultrafit Amorite Pro screen protector. It's made with Corning glass, which offers 10 times the impact absorption compared to generic screen protectors, and the install was so easy. It's a 2-step process and it took me less than 30 seconds. Oh, and it has an anti-reflective coating as well. All the links are down below. Go and check them out. What did I order? I've forgotten. So I went for the iPhone 17 Pro Max and I went for the 512 gig version. And yes, I went for the orange one. You have to go for the orange one, don't you? Very quickly, while I'm opening this, I don't get the iPhones early. So this is my first coverage really of the new iPhone. Right, okay, let's open the box. Whoa. Okay, I'm a very big fan of orange things. The branding for this channel is orange, and you know, everything is orange in my life. Weird. I just love orange things. And the thing that I had with this cosmic orange iPhone Pro Max was that I was thinking it's going to either be amazing in person or it's going to be a massive disappointment. I've had that with Apple stuff in the past where the colour on the website looks incredible and then you get it and it's like, oh, that's a bit rubbish. However, this, oh, it's everything I'd hoped for. It's everything I'd hoped for. Look at it. Let's get it on every angle. My immediate first impressions of that orange colour is that it's what I wanted. It's what I was hoping for. Let's come back to that. Okay, let's see. What do you get in the box? So I'm in the UK, which may mean certain things are different. I don't know. We don't get the plug, obviously, because that disappeared with the Ice Age. We have a SIM card tray tool thing because we do get physical SIMs on the iPhone, well, most of the iPhones in the UK still. I know if you're in the US and probably certain other locations, you don't get that, but over here we do. We get a lovely braided cable. Look at that. There's little things that Apple don't mention quite often in keynotes and things that are just a nice surprise when you get them. And over the last couple of years, they've basically been giving us better cables. No one talks about it. Very pleased with that. And then you just get all the normal things. No stickers. Let's do the peel. Here we go. Ooh. Now, very quickly, if you're new to this channel, I've been using the iPhone 16e for the last few months since it came out. No one believes that I went from the iPhone 16 Pro Max to this, but I did, and it's been my main phone for the last however many months that has been. It just gets the job done unspectacularly. Coming back to a Pro Max, and I'll explain what I'm doing with this later in this video, it is quite exciting. It's very exciting actually, because I've not had this big iPhone for a while. It feels light. It's not titanium anymore. It's an aluminium unibody frame. So this is the first ever unibody iPhone that we've ever had. It's one piece of aluminum, however you want to pronounce it. Oh, the orange. Look at the orange. Just look at the orange colour. It's not brash at all. It's not as brash as this Nomad strap for the Apple Watch, for instance, but it's very pro. It's the classic kind of Apple iPhone Pro lineup color, which means they don't go for those really piercing, bright, exciting colors, which I kind of wish they did. They go for a slightly muted, slightly more professional looking, I guess, in their eyes. And if you're thinking between the orange and the other colors that you can choose from with the Pro Max or the Pro, I think if you're leaning towards the orange but you're not sure, get it. I don't think it's going to be a disappointment. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting to look at this phone and think, oh, it's not quite what I wanted. Is this a placebo type thing? Is it just, the honeymoon phase of getting it out of the box and being impressed by it? I don't know. I don't think it is, though. I think it looks really nice. And it's got this kind of, this thing here, which again, I wasn't expecting any of this. I didn't know what to expect, really. This thing here is like, it's a different texture. I think it looks good. Then we have the plateau. Apple has to do this. They have to have these names for their kind of design elements, and that is the camera plateau. What I want to know immediately is, does it wobble on the surface of the table? And no, not really. I mean, compared to the 16 Pro Max, for instance, that wobbles horrendously. That wobbles a bit, but not as much, because it's got more of a surface area. There's more surface area to the camera bump. First impressions of the orange, spot on. Really happy with that. The plateau, I think, looks good. And the more I look at it, the more it looks like it's such a different phone to the 16 Pro Max. This is such a change, isn't it? Right, let me quickly get this set up so I can look at the screen and try out that selfie camera. Okay, we're in. I have a completely set up-ish iPhone. Just press the camera control. Camera control. Something always brings you crashing down to earth, doesn't it? I did wonder if they'd got rid of the camera control. Maybe they didn't mention it because, of course, it's there, and of course I keep pressing it by mistake. Anyway, I do have a partially set up iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now, the display is lovely, and I guess my first impressions of this are not tainted, but they're governed by the fact that I've been using the iPhone 16e for the last few months, and that doesn't have ProMotion. It has a 60Hz display, and it doesn't even have Dynamic Island, which means seeing that again, that little thing at the top of the screen, is actually a bit of it's quite nice. Oh, hang on. I used to moan about Dynamic Island, didn't I? It's weird how things change when you've been using a different device for so long. But anyway, the display. What can I say about the iPhone 17 Pro Max display? It's lovely. It's fantastic. iOS 26, one thing I will say about that, because at this point in the year, a lot of people will be upgrading their previous iPhone to iOS 26. And as much as people have, let's be honest, been a little bit unkind about liquid glass and all that sort of stuff, it does make your iPhone feel completely new. One thing I really want to try, and I think this is quite ironic that this is the main thing that I want to try as soon as I unbox this very expensive phone, is the new selfie camera. And it's the first ever square sensor up here. The reason it's square is because it means that you can take a photo like that, a selfie, just holding the phone like that, and from that photo you can have it either portrait or landscape. You never again have to go like that, and then to get other people into the frame, do that. We've all done this, that horrible thing where you have to really stretch your arm and then someone's missing and the dog's down here somewhere. And this is the Apple that I love. They choose these features which will have a genuine benefit on the people using them. I honestly think that this new selfie camera across the new iPhone lineup is possibly the biggest feature. Let's try it. So we go into the camera. Okay, selfie. So I've not done this yet. This is brand new for me. Okay. So that button there, the bottom right one, that goes from landscape. So I can do a landscape photo to portrait, I think. If I then go to that photo, can I change? I thought you could change it after the fact. Get involved in the comments. There'll be people screaming in the comments now saying, didn't you watch the keynote? This is how you do it. Anyway, the ability just to press that button and do that. I've got no one here to do a group selfie with because I have no friends, but what happens if you do that? So you can still do that, obviously, but you don't need to because you've got this sudden switch. Apple, I love you when you do these things. It's utterly lovely. Okay, to save you some time, I've done some scouring of the reviews that have gone live about the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, and there's a few things that I've picked out. Okay, the actual frame itself is thicker and heavier, apparently, than the 16 Pro Max, and going back to this kind of test, they don't feel any different. Maybe a little bit, but again, not too much. So if you're worried about the phone being heavier than your 16 Pro Max or whatever you're coming from, I wouldn't. The telephoto lens, yes, we have an 8x optical zoom. Let's give that a go as well. Okay, into camera, and yes, we have 1, 2, 4, and 8. No 5. So my big thing with the 16 Pro Max and the 15 Pro Max was that 5 times optical zoom. It's lovely. So to not see 5 times there anymore is a little bit, okay, but let's try this. Let's focus on that over there, because that is very dark over there. So there's the wide angle, there's the 24mm, there's the 2 times. I want to focus on that over there. There's the 4 times. These are quite harsh conditions, to be fair. And there is the 8 times. And if I want to go right up to 40 times, that's the maximum zoom. But there we go. So a quick look at those photos. We'll put them on the screen for you now. Okay, I will be testing the camera system in my 2-week later review of this. Okay, the battery from people who have had this phone for a lot longer than me, I've had it for about 30 minutes, is apparently better than the 16 Pro Max. Apple claims that it is. It says it's got 37 hours versus the 33 hours on this. In real world testing, people are finding that they're getting to about 20 to 30% left at 10 PM. Now, my thing with the battery on phones like this, expensive phones that are big enough to have a decent sized battery in there, is that you should get 2 days, really, on normal use. And by that, I mean using it as your main phone, calling people, texting people, browsing the web, watching stuff. I think if you can get about 2 days out of it, that's good. And I've not really been impressed with the Pro Max battery since the iPhone. I think the iPhone 14 Pro Max for me was the highlight. That was such a good performer in terms of battery life. But for me, the 15 and the 16 haven't been that impressive compared to the Android competition. So compared to things like the S24 and S25 Ultra, the 16 Pro Max and the 15 just weren't that impressive battery wise. I'm very interested to see how this does on that, and from the looks of the other reviews that have gone out already, we'll see. I will give that a go. The other thing is the pricing. This is still a very expensive phone, incredibly expensive, and quite a few people have pointed out that it's now hard to justify the Pro Max or the Pro because the standard iPhone 17 now has ProMotion. Apple can't win with this, can they? Because they do it, and then people start saying, well, yeah, but now why would you buy the Pro or the Pro Max? And if you're thinking between this and the regular iPhone 17 and possibly the iPhone Air, this Pro and Pro Max lineup has become more geared towards Pro usage. There's 2 types of buyer. The first one is the Apple fan. It's the person who just loves Apple stuff. And you may not be using this for professional video production, but you want the best iPhone. So I get you completely. No one can tell you any differently. It's your decision. The other type of person, and I think the person which Apple is gunning for now with this range, is the professional. It's the person who is going to be using this for work, who needs either video capture or possibly photography elements of this, and they need to use it for tasks which end up with money entering their bank account. And the time it takes to get those tasks done, the lack of barriers and trouble in getting those tasks out of the way, with the device that you're using, that is what drives them towards this rather than the entry-level iPhone 17 or the 16e or the iPhone Air. So I think we've reached this point now with the Pro Max and the Pro lineup where it's very definitively Pro-based. I don't think that's a bad thing. From my perspective, recommending the iPhone to a new buyer or someone who's upgrading from a 2 or 3 year old phone, it makes it a bit easier, because I would only recommend getting this, I think, if you are a pro or if you're just someone who wants the best of the best, in which case you don't need me to tell you that, you'll just buy it. And you might be thinking, what on earth am I going to do with it? Because I'm not going to switch from the 16e to the 17 Pro Max. I'm actually going to switch from the 16e to the iPhone Air. However, this is mine. I'm going to keep it, and I want to take it with me over the next 2 or 3 weeks to various things that I'm doing, various work-related stuff, and use it as a professional phone. And I will be returning with much more comprehensive thoughts about the 17 Pro Max. What I want now from you guys is to get involved down below. Have you bought this? What are you going to do with it? Why have you bought it? Have you not bought it? Have you gone for a completely different version of the new iPhone? Keep watching, because at the end of this video, unless you're very quick, there will be a link to the iPhone 17 Air video. It's not even called that, the iPhone Air video. See you there, and see you down below. Cheers.